Hello, everyone, and welcome to Week 5, Day 2 of Black Twitch League. I am CamCom joining you tonight with one of our newer casters here, Innocent, and we have Glacial Globals
Hello.
taking the blue side against Dryads on the red side.
Yeah. I mean, I haven't seen any of the teams play, but I sure hope the matches are interesting because I heard that yesterday you had some good ones.
Yeah, yesterday I think there were some pretty good ones out here yesterday, right? It's like you like an underdog story, and then it's like kind of crazy,
Yeah.
right? So now Glacial Global's kind of surprising bans here in Italy. Seraphine Morgana, I always agree with a Morgana ban, right? Morgana is a really safe support,
Black
and then
Shield.
yeah, Black Shield Q. It's like it's the classic
Mhm.
stun for 20 years, right? And then I mean Black Shield is
Yes.
just always like a point and click. Let's not allow you to CC us anymore, right? And then safe blind pick for even a jungle a little bit too, right? But Glacial Global actually going to be taking Sivir on B1 matched by that Ziggs.
Yeah. Well, it's like, is it going to be a Ziggs mid or a Ziggs bot? Because Ziggs bot was really big for a while, but I haven't really seen it played very much ever since his nerfs. So I'm curious to see where it'll go as far as lane assignment.
Yeah, usually I do still think that Ziggs ADC, I mean, he's not attack damage, but I still call it ADC,
Yeah.
although the bottom lane carry.
APC. Yeah.
Usually, I do still see him going there just because with a support in a 2v2, he is much stronger than mid lane. He can be
Yeah.
ganked very easily mid lane. He's not really an immobile mage. He still does have that W, right? But it's like he's not
Of
really a
course.
mobile one. It's not something like a Katarina or anything like that, right?
Yeah.
So I do expect it to go bottom, and then Hecarim locked in there. I've been seeing actually more lane Hecarims than jungle Hecarims recently. I have no idea why.
I've seen it too pretty often. I still see quite a few jungle Hepcrims too, so I guess just a lot of flex picks so far, where we could assume where they go one place, but they might go the other as well.
Yeah.
um,
That's
and
usually
Jarvan
why.
too.
That's usually why you pick them early, right? Because then it's like not
Yeah.
or trying to hide what you're picking in drafts. That's not like this is our jungler. It's clearly an Elise. This is our top lane. It's clearly a Jace,
Yeah.
and then it gives a lot more power for counter picks. And then Jarvan Amumu, very classic jungle support
Yeah.
duo right now. You wouldn't really expect Amumu support, but right now it's ridiculously broken. If
It's
you've
too
watched
strong. It's
yeah, if you've
broken.
watched Worlds like at all, this champion is
Yeah,
absolutely
definitely.
insane, especially paired with a Jarvan Cataclysm, right? With a sad mummy. It's like, man, that's
Guess I
quite the
can't
wombo
move.
combo.
Yeah, playing into a Mumu is not fun for most bot laners, so we'll see if they can play it well enough. Into Leona as well, so both of them are just CC heavy tanks.
Yeah,
Um,
Leona is kind of that counter pick that we've been seeing a lot in Worlds
yeah,
against Amumu, but usually you pick Leona to counter Misfortune Amumu together because Leona can ult Misfortune, canceling her ult without having to risk her life, right? So it's like you
exactly.
already see a Sivir, so you know it's not Misfortune Amumu, which is like that actual really strong power pick because they did
Mm-hmm.
ban Misfortune from Dryads, right? So it's like Leona into Amumu. Leona is much more tankier than Amumu and has a lot easier of an engage because her E does not cost 70 mana like Amumu's Q.
Yeah, definitely.
But trying to CC a Sivir, now that's a tall order.
It definitely is. Her spell shield does go on a long cooldown though, so if they can somehow get like the Ziggs spawn to proc her spell shield and then get the Leona engage after that, then it might work out in the bot lane.
Yeah, hopefully. And then I mean Hecarim, if Hecarim goes bot lane as well, that makes the gank just or that makes the Leona engage just that much easier because you can only spell shield one.
Definitely.
You can either spell shield the Hecarim Q, the Hecarim R, the Leona E, the Leona like auto attack stun or
Yeah,
whatever it is, right? It's like there's almost too much CC and you can't have
lots of
20
CC.
cleanses for all of it, right? Galio being
Unfortunately.
Galio being hovered here would be an interesting mid lane for Dryads.
Yeah. I mean, they do need AP. I don't think they need any more of like the bruiser tank style though. Or actually, they don't really need that much more AP with the Ziggs in the bot lane. So it looks like they're going for a pretty tanky comp for the Dryads. But
Yeah. it's a
The enemy team is also tanky, so
it's a very tanky comp. It actually worries me with how tanky it is.
yeah.
Because now, yes, you have like 3 basically tanks plus a Ziggs, and that
Mhm.
lacks a lot of damage. Like, Ziggs is kind of a
Definitely.
bursty champ. I don't really consider him a DPS type champ, so at
No,
this
he has a
point,
lot of poke, but that's about it.
yeah, like, on all ins and especially team fights, Ziggs is not really the type of champion that's going to be doing the damage that you need, especially with
Mhm.
this amount of engage. Like, you can CC them if you land all of these amount of CC for like a
But
solid
then
5
what?
to 6 seconds. That's a long
Mhm.
time to be CC'd, and
Definitely.
usually when you're CC'd, you want to be hitting them and damaging them and doing other things
Mhm.
that would kill them before their CC ends. But
And speaking of CC, here is a Wukong ult to top it off. So they will have a fun time not moving, I guess.
oh my gosh, I mean, Glacial Globals, maybe they're gonna have a very unfun game, but it can only be
Yeah.
so unfun if they aren't actually doing any damage. Now, if you do feed a Wukong or a Ziggs, yes, they can absolutely start doing damage, right? But
Yeah.
it's like,
They do have the possibility in them. It'll just
it's just
take a
not
bit
as
to get
built
there.
in.
Uh-huh.
Silas and Darius, how do you think Silas is going to be able to steal these ults away? Or like, how
I
is he going to be
mean,
able to use them?
Wukong ult might be pretty good, but other than that, I mean, they have a lot of CC ults, like we've been saying. They have so much CC on their team. So Ziggs ult's there for damage, but as far as the other ones, I don't know how much he's going to be able to get off of them, since he already has the Amumu and Jarvan for a lot of the CC that he would need. But I do think that Glacial has a lot more damage than the Dryads, with the Sivir and the Darius both being able to do a bit more damage than their counterparts, at least in the case they don't get too fed.
Yeah, I think the important ult to think about here is Silas stealing away probably Leona or Gallia would be the strongest two
Yeah.
I would predict, because Leona on top of an Amumu on top of a Jarvan ult, that sounds
Yeah.
very unfun. And then same exact story for Gallia, right? That's like, well, you're
Mhm.
going to be CC almost just as much from Glacial Global's comp, but then you also have actual damage built from Sivir, from Darius, and from Silas if he's able to get fed, but he's probably going to be more of a tanky champion here. But I don't know. These are not comps that I usually get to see.
No, they are definitely interesting comps that have some people that, I mean, I would assume a lot of these players probably are playing more comfort picks rather than just
Yeah.
meta stuff that we would see in every game. So we'll have to see how good they do on these champs that they've picked out for themselves.
Yeah, absolutely. And I do want to point out the current standings here. We are in week 5, of course. There are 7 weeks in the normal season right before playoffs. Glacial Globals, they had like a weird, like, they dropped out and then they came back and then they dropped out, then they came back. So obviously right now they're in the coming back stage. They're not currently out of the tournament, but they are sitting.
Now they're dropping out after draft.
Yeah, they're actually not currently in the tournament. Right. No, but they are currently 0-5, and Dryads are 3-2. So that is a 3rd place versus a unfortunately 8th place. But we believe.
Yeah, that's the underdog story you were talking about earlier. Like, we just want to hope for the underdogs. Unless you were cheering for the Dryads, then I guess you're hoping for the not underdogs. But we'll see who comes out on the top in the end of this match. And I mean, as far as team comp goes, I think Glacial has a better team comp in my mind, as we've been talking about. But then again, it's all just how it gets played out. So I think Dryads definitely still have a chance in this match.
Yeah, do you have, I mean, you just said Glacial Globals, but like, how do you think they can plan on winning this game? Like, whether through team fights or dragon control, like, what do you think is their specific win condition here?
I mean, it's hard to say because you would think team fights, but then the enemy team has a lot of CC in order to contain a lot of their damage, but at the same time, they have no damage. Like, the Ziggs is not going to be able to do much during the team fight. The only one who I can see really hurting is the Wukong and maybe the Hecarim. But if the Sivir is able to stay alive, if the Darius is able to stay alive, if Silas is able to stay alive, that's a lot more bursty team fight damage that they'll be able to put out rather than the as long as they can put it out with the CC on the enemy team. So dodge the CC, I think, is the goal. Or get the CC down first.
Yeah, that's a good way to put it. I think is if you are able to dodge out these crucial ultimates from Dryads, like if Wukong misses his Cyclone, if Leona misses her Solar Flare, right? Like either one of those, especially if both of them are burned, that is basically all of Dryads' like entire team fight just gone, right? It's like
that's everything.
You drafted this comp specifically for CC, so now if you're missing these large CC abilities, it's like, well. I guess there goes the team fight, yeah.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, I think that's definitely the Glacial's win con. And as well as the Dryads win con is to hit the CC and get it off. So get one of their damage sources fed.
Yeah, absolutely. And with that, going into spectator delay now, we will be going to a short break right before we go into game 1 tonight. Remember, Glacial Globals versus Dryads. Who takes this best of 3? Don't get away. We will be right back. Hello, everyone, and welcome back to Game 1 here tonight. Glacial Global's taking on Dryads, blue side versus red side. Once again, I am CamCom, joined by Innocent here tonight.
Hello. And we see that they're 5-pointing, neither of them looking for an invade, despite the fact that both teams have quite a bit amount of CC. But maybe that's the reason they're not invading, is because they know the other team has that opportunity as well.
Yeah, I feel like Jarvan plus a Mumu from Glacial Global's like, that would be a really strong invade, but I mean, to be fair, Jarvan doesn't have flagpole until level 2, so that's a fair okay, but like a Mumu still, you land one Q, you get another Q, and then it's like, well, especially if you land that onto Pixelwolf, right? Like, they're gonna die.
And as far as summoner spells, nothing unusual. The Hecarim has Ghost instead of Flash, but I think that's pretty normal about this time in the season. Actually, for most of the season, probably. Rune choices are also pretty normal, so nothing that unusual, so we'll have to see how it goes.
Yeah, nothing particularly crazy. I have heard of a few Leonas going Guardian, but I don't really know the specific reasons when or where. And I mean, what do you call it? Aftershock is always just a very safe choice. You land an E, you're always going to get your Aftershock Guardian. Not so much unless your ADC also walks up, right? So it is just that kind of...
Probably in more poke-heavy lanes, I would assume. They probably have the Guardian because they can't proc the Aftershock as well.
Yeah, that's a good point. Wait, that Galio skin is so funny. Oh,
yeah,
no.
that Galio skin is definitely my favorite.
I don't think I've ever seen it before. He's just like a giant yellow duck. He looks like one of those like rubber chickens that you squeeze and it just cracks.
He's like the fried chicken Galio.
Dude, I swear I've never seen that. That's actually so funny. But you do see Okuri looking for a mid lane gank here, but we have a 1v1 here in the top side as well. Yucca actually forced to flash away there, the fully stacked passive from the Darius.
Bleed.
Yeah, he does a lot of damage with that. And Okuri was hovering mid lane there for quite a while, lost a little bit of tempo there with his ganking pattern, but flash coming out from Loose by onto Pixel, using his own flash, but unfortunately not going to be fast enough. First blood coming out from Mr. Unfortunate. Skylar just about able to walk away.
Lots of sums used in the bot lane there. All of the sums on the side. All of the sums from Amumu and Sivir were used, and almost all the sums from the Ziggs and Leona were used there.
Yeah, the only summoner left in bot lane is Flash on Skylar, and that is probably like I hate to rank summoner spells, but that's probably the least important one because you can assume that Skylar has Hex Flash, so it's like out of any summoner, that is probably the one to burn first.
Yeah, definitely, since you'll have that other option after. Since Leona mostly wants to use her flash for engage rather than disengage.
Yeah, and then on a Momo, you usually take Domination secondary for a little bit of extra damage and ultimate CD, so you very rarely see a Mumus with Hex Flash. I have definitely seen some, but Okuri looking for a gank here on the top lane. Banana Bread taken down real low, not going to almost be able to He actually makes it out by 1 HP, but in the mid lane here, flashing away Lost in Echoes, not going to be as lucky.
No, 3-man mid lane without much warning at all, I would imagine. After they took the scuttle, they just walked straight up and ganked, and it was successful, killing the Sylas.
Yeah, it was the classic scuttle trade into gank where Okuri he walked up, he got the top scuttle, and then he immediately got a kill on Banana Bread, and then Shifo did the same exact thing. He got the bot scuttle, he walked mid, he got a kill onto Lost in Echoes, and that is exactly how you want to be playing this early game. They were even able to bring Skylar up to the mid lane for that little extra bit of CC because, as we've been talking about, this comp, it's almost like a Freljord comp, right? Like if they had drafted some Freljord champions, it would be the exact same thing. It's just all CC, all frozen, all you're gonna go to gray screen whether you're moving or you're not.
You like to see those CC numbers on the death screen after it's like, oh, I was CC'd for the entire time I was alive.
Yeah, it's like they CC'd you for 5 seconds and did all that damage within 5 seconds, and it's just like, yes, counterplay.
Yeah, exactly. So, as we said, dodging one CC ability could be pretty crucial in some of these team fights. I don't think there's not much of a gold difference yet. It's still 2-1. And Glacial did get the first blood, but overall it's been pretty even since then. As far as kills.
It is a very even gold lead, just over or under 1,000 in favor of Glacial Globals here. Lose by actually going in with that one Amumu Q, not going to have any follow-up on it though. And I mean, just with those massive nerfs to the mana cost on the Amumu Q, if you don't fully go in off of one of them, and especially if you throw and miss the second one, that is half your mana pool gone, and literally nothing was gained from it, which is why Amumu in lane has been so heavily nerfed. I mean, if you do land one, then it's absolutely still an insane ability. It's just a lot more punishing and gives a lot more counterplay to the enemy team, whereas before, Amumu went in and he one-shot you.
Yeah, and it looks like Jarvan's trying to take this dragon, Okuri. That was probably the reason he was ganking earlier, to get the pressure, but I guess he doesn't even need the pressure when they're not going to check it. And first drag goes to Glacial.
Yeah, that is the power of vision control and just having pressure around the map, right? As 1v1 coming out here in the top lane, it's not actually a 1v1 though, as Galio ulting up and Yucca is able to secure that kill. But now Okuri might pay the price for that early dragon there, or actually nope, Ziggs W just about gonna save his life. He's able to walk away. He was forced to burn his flash, but that's not the worst thing in the world. As Lost and Echoes, oh, that was
lots
close.
Of people in the mid lane, yeah. A little scary there.
Oh
yeah,
no.
the roams, I think, by Guardian. Oh no.
Okuri tried to get level 6 off of his red buff. Unfortunately, not quite able to. He was able to secure it and then immediately getting ulted and killed by Shifu. So it was all for the buff transfer.
No huge CS leads. Darius has a bit of a CS lead in the top lane. Oh, well, I guess Sivir has quite a CS lead now that I'm looking at the bot lane. Actually, it's just about 10. Never mind. There's nothing that big.
I mean,
Hecarim is a pretty 2-0 Hecarim, though. I guess he could end up being their damage source.
Yeah, it is nice to have those kills on, I mean, one of their quote-unquote damage sources. Like, if those kills were on the Galio, I would be a lot more concerned for Dryads team comp. But nah, you've got someone Hecarim. If I remember anything from earlier in the season, Hecarim can very easily 1v9 games, and he was just given a buff on this most recent patch that did land on the last Wednesday. So he is slightly stronger, definitely not at the same level that he was many months ago, but still it's like,
yeah, well, that was a bit too strong.
yes he was definitely up there. He was up there on Amumu levels of being strong.
These Dryads got some good patches. They have vision of the Hecarim taking his red buff, so they know he's there. The rotations from Guardian from the Dryads has been a lot better than that of the Glacial team.
Yeah, and that's like the power of communication, right? Glacial Globals with the whole like, are we in or are we out kind of thing are forced to use a couple subs here. I'm not exactly sure which players are subs, but you can kind of tell that through communication, right? Because in that very first kill that Shifu got in the mid lane, they were able to pull Skylar up for it as well. But now Banana Bread, once again being ganked, is able to flash away though. But does that even matter? Feared back away from his tower. Lots of burn damage from his passive, but unfortunately not going to be enough. Shifu picking up his third kill of the game.
Yeah, and again, the CC, they're just doing all the damage within it this early in the
game. Whoa! Oh, God.
Little early of a mastery flash.
Oh no, lose by 200 ping. I mean, you could see it. You could see it in those little tiny Amumu eyes, right? Like, he flashed
they saw the Leona in the top lane. They want to take advantage of that Ziggs in the bot lane, but they just are not able to take advantage as he's playing super safe and is giving a CS deficit for it. But at the same time, I think it's worth his life.
Yeah, and that's like exactly how you want to play Ziggs, right? Like he started Doran's Ring, he bought tier on his first back, and he's definitely been able to scale it up very well, very easily on his own, which does allow Skylar to move around the map. But that is exactly why you pick Ziggs, is you leave him alone in the bot lane, he farms up for 20 minutes, and then he's gonna just start taking towers no matter how far behind he is, but picks the wolf.
He isn't too safe this time, apparently.
No, not going to be as safe that time, as now Shifo is going to bring in the mid laner here, but Mr. Unfortunate is going to be even less safe now than picks the wolf. Already used the flash, already used the heal, already used the ultimate, so he's got nothing left other than his 2 little feet. Lost in Echoes, stealing away that Galio, but unfortunately not going to be able to save Mr. Unfortunate's life. Shifo about to go down, but heals so much. Where did that health bar come from? He just gained 3 health bars. What? Double kill for Shifo from 1 HP.
He had like so little health, and then it just all came back, and he doesn't even have a mythic. He just has components, and he's just getting a lot of health.
Oh
but
my
that fight,
gosh.
there was like 2 or 3 times where I thought, okay, he's dead, right? And then he just wasn't dead.
1v1 here in the top lane, though. Banana Bread trying to find it here once again. Does have the 4-stack passive, but still not going to have enough damage. Yaga picking up yet another solo kill up here in the top lane.
So it looks like even though Glacial had a lead at first, the Dryads are definitely coming back, as the 3 top members, the 2 laners and the jungler, have bounties over their head that Glacial will need to get if they want to get back into the game.
Yeah, currently Dryads sitting about 2,000 gold up on Glacial Global. 6 kills as well. They are down 1 dragon, but that's not going to matter a whole lot when you can get the next couple very easily for yourself. As Mr. Unfortunate is going to face check Skylar there, lose by 200 ping. Probably going to be up next there, but Yucca, he's going to give away the first shutdown of the game to Glacial Globals and lose by 200. He really wanted the plate, man. I think he got the plate.
I guess so.
I think he got the plate.
At least he got the plate.
But was giving a plate worth giving a 7th kill over to Shifo on the Hecarim?
I mean, they're just giving him a bigger bounty, you know?
True. I mean,
no, they just put it on the Sivir and then they're set. If Mr. Unfortunate can stop being so unfortunate and face checking pushes.
Mr. Unfortunate did actually have the first mythic completed in the game. I don't know exactly how that happened, but he did have the Kraken Slayer built.
He's CSing pretty well.
Built before anyone else on the side of Dryad, as Tanner is actually going to be forced to flash away here. This could be one more shutdown going into the pockets of Glacial Globals, and it is going to be picked up there by lose by 200 ping.
A little tankier of an Amumu won't hurt, but definitely not the ideal person that you want that on. You definitely want it on some of the more damaging people, such as Silas or Sivir, even though Sivir probably wasn't going to get that one.
Nah, I like the Amumu getting it. As an Amumu player, it's like, I want these shutdowns, man. Like, if I'm going to get a shutdown, it's going to be on me. But now Shifo, the Hecarim ult into Hecarim ult, and Silas wins the Hecarim ult 1v1.
He does.
I don't know.
Well, I don't know what winning is, but he got out alive, so I guess that's winning for him.
I would call that winning, because he's 0-2 to 7-0. I don't think there's an actual winning in that situation there, but Banana Bread might find himself another quote-unquote winning 1v1 up here in the top lane, but once again, it is not a 1v1. He's found 2 more friends up here in the top lane, going to use his ultimate up there as well. Shifo picking up his 8th kill of the game, going to be going legendaries, lose by 200 ping. He roamed up, he really wanted to help Banana Bread, but unfortunately just does not have the safety that he needs to try and be able to make an engage and get out safely.
No getting out safely from that, as their CC is stacked and their Hecarim is a little fed.
Just a little.
Just a little. He's just got a few more kills than the average Hecarim at this point in the game.
I mean, honestly, if I play against a Hecarim, this is what I have to expect from him, right? Like, I have it ingrained in my memory. Like, every single Hecarim gets 10 kills before 20 minutes, and it's like, you don't even know how he does it. He just presses R and fears your entire team, and that fear just goes into your brain, apparently, as well.
Can't press any buttons after that one.
No. They buffed the Hecarim so much that it was a buff to people's brains on how much they fear this
a debuff
champion.
to people's brains. That would be a surprising from Riot since they can't even fix their own client. But maybe they're trying to move into some different avenues of business. They're doing mind control now, so be careful.
Yes, be very careful indeed, as unfortunately this bot lane here for Dryads has not been doing as hot as the top side of the map. Pixel Wolf still not having that fully completed tier. He has slowly been making his way to it, right? But he's kind of been that like sacrificial member for Dryads, right?
Definitely.
It's like if there was one member that was going to pay the price of an 8-0 jungler, it's going to be the ADC, whether it's a Ziggs or whether it's another champion. It's like, you know who's the easiest to get on the map? That Bane in the bot lane, or that Misfortune in the bot lane, or that Ziggs in the bot lane in this particular game, right? It's like, yeah.
Sacrificed probably more often than they would like to be, but at least his team is getting a lot out of it, as Skylar Toon is doing pretty good. 7 assists, which is really all you want to see from a Leona at this point in the game.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, he almost has the locket completed here in a couple minutes. He has all the components, just needs that 200 extra gold for the combination. And he's probably got that very soon here. So once he does have that, he's going to be much more tanky than he already is on a very tanky Leona. But Sylas versus Hecarim 1v1, it's still not ever an actual 1v1, as Galio's always hovering in the wings.
The rotations are too good.
It is. It's the communication gap that we're witnessing. Okari here, going with the Cataclysm onto Pixel, able to flash W out of it, though. Very nicely done by Pixel. Not gonna have to sacrifice himself that time.
Still isn't being sacrificed very much.
He lives being the sacrificial lamb for at least the first time, but now he could be another for the next 5 minutes. It's very scary.
Definitely. Next time Jarvan ults up, well, there goes their quote-unquote damage.
I mean,
what a Glacial would like to think.
We were worried about damage, and then we forgot. We forgot that Hecarim, just like someone like Ornn or
damage.
Mundo, like you drop an Ornn, you don't think he's gonna do damage. You drop the Mundo, you don't think he's gonna do damage. You think of the Hecarim, you don't think he's gonna do damage, and then all of a sudden you look at tab, you press tab, and you're like, oh, he's 9-0. He has a Divine Sunder plus a Sterax. Oh, that's a lot of fun.
He's running faster than me and can still do more damage and tank more damage. I've literally got nothing on him.
Okay, I was very worried there that Mr. Unfortunate was going to lose a 1v1 to Skylar. I was like...
I'm like, this Leona looks really, like, confident in this fight. And honestly, I can't blame him.
How much gold is he? I don't know, but he's got to be sitting on enough gold for Locket at this point. Like 100%. Like that's a very cheap combination. Is just 200.
600.
Yeah, 100%.
Almost 650. So.
And then lose by 200. I mean, he's kept up though. He's got the same components going for Locket there as well.
He's only 300 gold down.
Yeah, I am expecting both of them to buy Anathemas as their second item. I think Anathemas is just always a good second item for any tank support, especially for a Mumu when you're going against a 9-0 Hecarim. Any reduced damage that you're able to take from this Hecarim is very appreciated by the side of Glacial Globals at this point, as Lose by 200 almost hits that Q onto Skylar.
Almost. But it looks like Wukong is just split pushing with no real response, so he will probably be able to get this tier 2 turret.
He gets the tier 2. He could almost look for a tier 3 here if they did have some more vision stacked up in Glacial Global's deep jungle, but I think it is nice to see him playing safe. He does have that Gore Drinker, so he can definitely 1v1 most members on the side of Glacial Globals. I'm not too sure if he's able to 1v2, and I definitely don't think he's able to 1v3, but if Shifu...
No, he is not as far ahead as the Hecarim.
Yeah, if Shifu and Tanner are there, I definitely think they can win a 3v5. Just between...
If Shifu's there, they win any fight.
Yeah, pretty much at this point. You're gonna have to land some miracle CC and damage on Shifu at this point. He's sitting at, what, like 8 CS a minute on a jungler? That...
Some miracle burst damage, too, with how much healings he's getting. Like, you can't just have some normal damage there when he'll literally heal it all back up in a few seconds.
Yeah, and they are building anti-heal a little bit for Glacial Globals. You see a Bramble on Banana Bread. You see the Executioners on Mr. Unfortunate, who, by the way, is actually matching Shifo in CS right now. So despite how poorly this game has gone so far, you gotta admire. He's matching the most fed member in CS. Maybe not in the amount of kills and gold that he's got, but he is going to make up for it at least a little bit in the CS department, right? And I mean, you are a Sivir. You can play very safe on that champion. You have an E, you have an R, both of which are very strong utility. It's just you're going to be lacking damage now, as your front line is not going to be as strong of a front line as you would have originally hoped. As that's a very nice double Amumu ultimate, but unfortunately just not going to have any follow-up, followed up by the double Cataclysm, though. Now double kill still coming out for Shifo. This was the absolute best case for Glacial Globals. They landed all their CC in the perfect order, and yet Shifo's still sitting at half HP, at a quarter mana. You still have to kill this Hecarim, and no one can even touch him as Banana Bread is given over as the sacrificial lamb for the rest to be able to run away.
Yeah, I mean, the Hecarim ult there was very good as well. After the Jarvan had ulted him, Hecarim just ulted out and targeted that Sivir, knowing that Sivir is like their damage source. Sivir has the CS. The Darius, not really a damage source right now. He's got the bleed, but the bleed ain't bleeding much.
No, he's working on it. I mean, you do have the double Gore Drinker from the top side of Glacial Globals. I was talking about this on a previous cast this week. It almost feels like there was some sort of secret buff to Gore Drinker recently.
Everyone's going back to it.
It genuinely feels like there was some secret ghost buff to Gore Drinker, where all of a sudden all of these Gore Drinker plus Sterak's building champions are just as broken as they were a few patches ago, like 6 or 7 months ago, right?
Was at its best.
Yeah, right? And now it's like any Gore Drinker champion that I see is automatically better than you would originally think. Like, yes, Darius is currently 0-5. Yes, he is supposed to be a lane bully champion. But once he finishes Gore Drinker plus Sterak's, I'm not going to underestimate his healing and his damages. Lose by 200, I really don't think you win that.
Yeah, a loss by 200 just keeps on getting caught out continuously. Like, you have the CC and you have the way in, but you don't have a way out. So there's no way to get out from those situations that you're constantly being put in. And I understand getting the vision. Vision is important, but it's just very hard to get vision when there's Shifo just running all around the map.
Yeah, that is something that I have definitely done as a support, is I want vision, I want vision, I want vision, and then, oh, there's a Hecarim now, right here. I don't know where he came from, but I just wanted to get vision to know where he was, as, that was a very close one-for-one for how far behind they were. As actually Glacial Global is able to even out the Dragons. Very nice steal coming out there from Okari, but 40-second death timers, I don't know if that's worth.
It might not be. I mean, the top lane matchup, I guess I had too little faith, because that looked way closer than I thought it should have been. I was like on my seat, like.
And that's what I'm talking about, right? Like, you finish the Gore Drinker, he only has the Bramble, he doesn't even have Sterak's yet, and then it's like, you cannot underestimate the amount of damage that these items do. Like, if he had Sterak's right there, I genuinely do not doubt he would have won that 1v1.
Yeah, I would not doubt that it's either, because that's all that kept the Wukong alive was his Sterak's. So, if the Darius had it, that bleed would have been definitely executing the Wukong.
There is a 10,000 gold lead currently in favor of Dryads, but
Dryads a lot of that gold is probably on the Hecarim.
Yes, I do believe probably at least 6,000 or 7,000 of that gold is probably sitting on Shifu's head right now, but you have completely even dragons, which means if there is a soul, especially an infernal soul like we have in this game 1, right, given over to Glacial Globals, I really don't doubt, just because of how strong Infernal Soul is, especially on these top lane champions like the Darius and the Jarvan, right? Like, that is a very strong soul on these champions.
Definitely. I think it'd be a very strong soul for both teams, but even more so in Glacial's favor.
Oh man, the chickens are gonna start killing
fight
people.
Over the chickens.
Okuri is just like so hungry for resources right now. Like he is
Yeah.
just looking for literally anything, and even when his chickens are just stolen out from under his nose, it's like, man, that extra 4 CS in my
That was
pocket.
my dinner.
Yeah. You just robbed this poor man of his chicken dinner. Now he's sitting there hungry, and he isn't even allowed to touch his wolves either.
No, he's not allowed to touch his wolves, and no one is other than Hecarim. He has full priority over anything he wants to have priority over at this point in the game.
Yeah, and still, Shifo and Mr. Unfortunate are having their, like, still mini 1v1 CS competition, right? They are, for our
He
terms...
can lose the game, but he doesn't want to lose in CS.
Yeah, they are completely even in CS numbers still. I have no idea how at 26 minutes, but they are still completely even in CS since we have some 1v1s going on both sides of the map here. Shifo almost caught out here by 4 members, but still is able to make it out alive. Yucca picked up the first kill. Shifo once again picking up his 13th kill of this game, still sitting at full health here as well. Mr. Unfortunate trying to run away. Lost in Echo's going to give his life over, going golden for just a little bit too short there. All the kills are going over. Ace coming out for Dryads.
What? How is this possible? He just won't die. Oh my gosh. They I don't know. There's not much you can do at this point, honestly. Hecarim just got slowly super fed, and 2 kills by at a time he got fed, and now he's here 14-0, sitting fancy on his pretty pony. Although I guess he's not sitting on it. I guess it's headless, but we don't have to worry about the details.
I mean, he's embracing the Halloween spirit, right? Like
he is.
He is.
He's got the October theme. Maybe that's why he's doing good.
That's exactly my point, right? Like he's embracing this Halloween theme. There is a pumpkin skin for a Moo, right? He didn't take the pumpkin skin, so therefore, Glacial Global's
gonna lose
their game.
Just how it is.
We're in October, guys. Come on.
You have to go with all the October themed skins, otherwise it's just a loss. I don't know.
Like I'm not gonna go as far as to say draft champions with October skins, but like if you do just so happen to pick one with a skin like that, then
yeah.
You should definitely, I would say, take that skin.
And I mean the October skin line is pretty good as well.
It is.
I like all the skins that they put out for all the bewitching ones.
It's like got all the like cute purple spiders, and like there's a few cupcakes in there as well. Like I just really like
spiders
purple.
are cute, right?
Yeah.
Spiders are adorable.
Spiders are very cute if they are not in my bed or on top of me. Anywhere else they're good.
And not like ginormous. Those ones aren't very cute anymore.
I actually had one climb onto my head during lunch on Friday.
What?
Yeah. I don't know how he did it, and I only felt him once he was on top of my head. I don't know how that happened.
It looks like they're taking Baron without much contest at all. We talk about spiders.
I'm pretty sure Dryads could have ended there a few minutes ago, but they decided to pad out the stats a little more, stats obviously being much more important than the Nexus damage. Imagine if Nexus damage was actually a stat for like each player, like they tracked how much Nexus damage you did. I know the turret damage is a stacked strat and Nexus damage is counted in it, but like nah, we need the specific per dragon, per Nexus damage stat, right? As the final fight does come out here for Glacial Globals, but is it even really a fight when you go in and you're just instantly taken to the green screen, right? It's like Lost in Echoes, he got in, he got a really good ultimate, so did lose by 200 ping, and then all of a sudden he's just instantly blown up here now.
Darius got his first 2 kills there.
He did.
And
he did.
His only 2 kills as Dryads will end out this game very quickly. I mean, 30 minutes, I guess that's not that quick. And I do think that they should put up a good fight, but not a good enough fight. As far as the CS battle, Sivir actually won. It was 258 to 253.
That is pretty close. I mean, yeah, that's what you want, right? Like, maybe we're not going to win the game, right? But if I'm
as long as you're winning in something,
absolutely.
You got it.
I am a true believer here. I want to see these damage graphs. Oh my gosh.
Hecarim.
Man, 2600 damage within a 29-minute game. Almost hitting 1000 damage a minute. Absolutely insane Shifu is on the Hecarim. If Hecarim is not banned...
There is their damage. Yeah.
Yeah, if Hecarim is not banned in these upcoming games, I will be very surprised. But we are going to be going to...
definitely something they need to do.
Yeah, we are going to be going to a short break here now as we do head into Game 2 here tonight.